Well, hello there, replay viewers. You must love me so very much because you're tuned in again to the replay. Love you guys so much. Thank you for staying in touch. Web viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. Miss Mocha Bella, hello, darling. J20, I think it's JZ 013. Thank you for subscribing to the Wise Courtship Philosophy. To all my faithful followers, thank you guys for being here. To the new ones, thank you for being here. Go ahead and put your name through the chat box and where you're scoping from if this is your first time. Yes, we have a love letter waiting for us. And I'm just going to give a little more time for the family to come in so that we can read that. You know, I do the love letters whenever I get them. That's when I read them to you. And we did get one today. And I have the email right here in front. I'll turn that around just a little bit so you can see that. That's my email. It's not, just had to turn it around so I won't have to flip it back again. All right. I did do my scoping already for today. So if you missed that, we're in the middle of a business relationship series. So if you missed that, make sure you go back and watch the replay. I have not read the love letter just yet. Go ahead and share to your followers on Twitter. Hi, Yolanda. Go ahead and share to your followers because I'm about to read the love letter. Hello, Yolanda. How are you? Thank you for subscribing to the Wise Courtship Philosophy. Got a love letter, and I made the announcement to everyone that I would read it at 12 o'clock today because we started our business series, and I didn't really want to interrupt that. But, of course, when we get a love letter, we got to read it. I'm good. What about you? What about you? I know you're busy, girl. I know you're busy. And I pray that everyone here is doing well. If you're new, go ahead and put your name through the chat box and where you are scoping from. In the interim, while you guys are sharing on Twitter and while you guys are sharing with your followers, I'll introduce myself. Great. I'm glad you're doing well. This is Tony Henderson-Mayers. I'm the author of Wise Courtship. Now, Wise Courtship is a book with a 3-step system to helping you determine the true character and intent of your love interest. Now, Wise Courtship is not just a book. It's wisdom. It's guidance. It's what I call the Wise Courtship philosophy. So anytime you come on this scope, you see me on television, hear me on the radio, watch me on stage, or even get the book, you just subscribe to the Wise Courtship philosophy. And we know the Wise Courtship philosophy are a group of individuals who are committed to their romantic, friendship, and business relationships. Thank you so much for the hearts. I appreciate that so very much. So go ahead and share, because you don't know how the answering of this letter may help someone else. I think that's Virtuous Classy Marie. Thank you so much for subscribing to the Wise Courtship Philosophy. Believe it's your first time. If so, go ahead and put your name through the chat box and where you're scoping from. Good morning. We are about to read this love letter. Twerk out, work out. Thank you so much for subscribing to the Wise Courtship Philosophy. You're just in time. I'm about to read this letter. I've done my scoping already for today, my normal lesson. Your name is India, and you're from Mobile, Alabama. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, darling. Twerk out, work out. Thank you for joining us. Listen, guys, you are part of the family. Once you are here, you have just subscribed to the Wise Courtship Philosophy. If you stick to the end of the scope, I'll tell you just why you have a lifetime subscription, okay? All right, and I will reintroduce myself again in a moment. I have done my scope already for today, but whenever we get a love letter, I will drop everything and scope about this love letter. So I showed it earlier that I have it here on the laptop, okay? So I'm going to read it to you. Go ahead and share on Twitter. Go ahead and share with your followers because you don't know how, when I answer this letter, how it may help someone else. It says, it's about my relationship with the father of my child. At first, he was saying he needed time away from me, but now he has a girlfriend. And he's still like messing with me, and he acts like I'm just supposed to be okay with the fact that he has a girlfriend. Thank you, Curtis. I always get that part wrong. Curtis CK813. Thank you for subscribing to the Wise Courtship Philosophy. In the middle of this love letter. And he's still messing with me, and he acts like I'm supposed to just be okay with the fact that he has a girlfriend, and he pretty much wants me to wait for him, but it's just like I can't wait on him to finish messing with her, then be with me. It's so complicated, and the crazy thing is I just might be pregnant again. Wow. I don't know what to do. You know, let me take my deep breath first. Good morning, Curtis. I'm glad to see you. I know. Wow, Marie, this is just really the things that I get on a regular basis. And if you was to see the picture of this person, if you were to see the picture of this person, I'm doing very well. I'm glad to see that you're well too. This person is absolutely beautiful. And to go through this type of thing is unbelievable. And this is why I wrote the book, Wise Courtship, because you really have to get your strategies together before the emotions come through, because it gets very, very difficult. So you're talking about someone who already has a child with this particular individual. And yes, ma'am. And you see that they want to, and they're also, let me also add this in, although it's not in the letter, from seeing the picture, they're younger people, okay? So, of course, this gentleman wants to sow his oats, in other words. I mean, that's all you can see through this letter. He wants to be able to get away without being as responsible. But he did a responsible act, and he has to be responsible, but yet he wants to be able to, get out and see as many women and do as many things as he would like. Listen, there's really nothing wrong with that, but when it's done out of place, it causes, chaos and havoc. If you want to, gorgeous women fall for knuckleheads like that. I know, absolutely, Curtis, absolutely. Listen, she's emotionally tired. Yes, ma'am. Yes, she is. Listen, you need to do single things while you're single. And when you have the opportunity to be single and footloose and fancy free, that is the time to go ahead and to date and get to know people, not break hearts, but get to know people and date and do all of those types of things. Thank you guys for interacting one with the other, because that's what this is all about. But when you start doing responsible things like having children, you have to become responsible. So some of the freedoms and some of the things that you would like to do cuts down considerably. Yes, we can have children with people and realize that we don't want to be married to them, but it is a lot easier to be married to them and make sure you want to be with them before you have the children. It makes things work a lot smoother. It may sound old-fashioned, but it works. I mean, why break something why try to fix something that's not broken? So concentrate on getting with someone you want to be with and share your life with, and then make the decision to have the children. This way, you're not running into these same type of problems. However, the deed is done, right? So now you have a child with this person. SW2017, thank you so much for subscribing to the Wise Courtship Philosophy. Pastor Wagner's here. Thank you so much for subscribing to the Wise Courtship Philosophy. We're in the middle of this letter, but you're still just in time. So now you have a child, okay, with this person. And of course, the woman is going to want to have a relationship because we are made for relationships. As a matter of fact, when we first were created, we were created and put into a relationship. So this is why women are a lot different than men sometimes. With men, they would love to work and have their domain in order before they think about relationships. When you go back to the Garden of Eden, you'll find that Adam had God put everything in place for him. He was, he was working, he was doing things, and then he discovered, wow, I'm alone and I don't like this. Okay. So until he gets to that point that he feels like I'm alone and I don't like this, it's really not going to work. So I'm just saying this too because I want her to understand this, but I also want everyone who's going to hear me on the various platforms that I'm on, just in case you are somewhere in between this, I need to lay some groundwork. And you really need to get Wise Courtship, because the Wise Courtship book, because I say so much more in there. I say so much more that I cannot say right now. Okay. I don't have the time to. Thank you so much for the hearts, and thank you so much for the comments, guys. So now this gentleman wants to have a relationship with someone else, which is totally natural in a way, considering the age, the youth, the mentality. You're not ready to be knuckled down and get serious with one particular person. Matters of the heart require brutal honesty. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Curtis, for the comment. I am Bruce. Thank you so much for subscribing to the Wise Courtship Philosophy. Listen, we're in the middle of this love letter, okay? So now you're with this gentleman and he wants to venture out into something else. I'm going to tell you what to do in just a moment. First, I'm going to reset because we have some new people in the room. This is Tony Henderson-Mayers, the author of Wise Courtship. Now, Wise Courtship is a book with a 3-step system to helping you determine the true character and intent of your love interest. Hello, King. We got love next, I think. Thank you for subscribing to the Wise Courtship Philosophy. Now, this is not just a book. It's wisdom. It's guidance. It's what I call the Wise Courtship Philosophy. So anytime you see me on this scope, hear me on the television, see me on the radio, or vice versa, or watch me on stage or buy the book, you just subscribe to the Wise Courtship Philosophy. And the Wise Courtship Philosophy, why buy the cow when you get, yes, it's an old saying, but it's so true. Listen, the Wise Courtship Philosophy are a group of individuals who are committed to great romantic friendship and business relationships. That's why in my earlier scope, I'm talking about business relationships. So when I say you're just subscribed to the Wise Courtship Philosophy, that's exactly what I mean. So let's get back to the letter, okay? So now she is worried because he is now starting to venture out into other young ladies. This is going to happen because he is nowhere near ready to settle down, okay? And so that's why you want to do your work up front. Because if you're looking for someone who's serious, then you're going to have to do the work that I describe in my book to see if that person is on the same level of seriousness that you are, okay? Thank you guys so much for the comments, and thank you for commenting one with the other. Thank you so much for the hearts, too. And if this is of value and you think someone's going to be blessed by it, go ahead and swipe up on Android or swipe from left to right on iOS, share on Twitter, and share with your followers, because you never know who will be blessed by this. Miss Velvet slipped in here. Thank you, darling, for subscribing to the Wise Courtship Philosophy. Okay, back to the letter. So here's the key word in the letter. He says, she says, I'm supposed to be okay with the fact that he has a girlfriend. Pretty much he wants me to wait for him. Now that is a clue that you are good wife material. However, he sees the value, but he's just not ready to settle at this point. Greg, thank you so much for subscribing to the Wise Courtship Philosophy. We're in the middle of a love letter. You're just in time. I'll let you know why you have a lifetime to subscribe. If you stay with us, I'll let you know, and I'll reintroduce myself. But go ahead and put your name through the chat box. All new people, put your name through the chat box and where you are viewing from. So he is not ready to settle down. That is a key red flag. Bing! He wants you to wait for him. He's not ready at this time. So if you're ready and he's not ready, can someone tell me in the chat box what she should do next? If he's not ready, but she is ready, what should she do? Go ahead and put that through the chat box. And thank you so much for subscribing. We got G's Courtship Philosophy. Now, I'm unfrozen now. Move on. That's right. Anybody got a comment? Move on. Because, see, your goal is not aligned. Bounce. Absolutely. SW 2017. And I miss you, girl. I miss you. Absolutely. She needs to move on. Not because he's a dog, not because he's not this, not because he's not that, and all that may be true, but because her goals are not aligned with his goals. You're just not going to get what you want out of him. She should leave, because not only is he saying wait, he's saying wait and he wants to play. Yes. Curtis says leave, run as fast as you can. If he cheat, he'll cheat on you. Something like that. You are so right, Curtis. It was disappearing toward the end there. Absolutely. You guys are so smart because you're subscribed to the Wise Courtship for Life. Classy Marie, thank you for subscribing back. So yeah, she should move on. Connection is a lie. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's right, Velvet. All right, let's see if she got anything else in here I want to uplift. It's so complicated, and she may be pregnant again. Now, yeah, don't waste your time. Yolanda, you're so right. Don't waste your time. If you are pregnant again, darling, that's another thing. Because when it all boils down, you're going to be the person responsible for feeding an individual. In this particular instance, there's some young men who will, young men, old men, whatever men, who will still step up to the plate. What if she had children with that person? And she does. She has, I'm sorry, Velvet, in the earlier part of the letter, this is the father of her child. She should leave because not only is he saying wait, he's saying wait, and he want to play. Absolutely, absolutely. And she thinks she may be pregnant out by him, Velvet. So, yeah. So it's a very sticky situation, but it's going to always be that. Now, let me also, what I would tell her and interject, that cheating is a form of abuse. Absolutely. Listen, it is definitely a form. Yolanda, people need to know that. Cheating is a form of abuse. Neglect is a form of abuse. We have to talk about that in another topic. We definitely have to talk about that. But listen, I talk a lot in the book about patterns. Patterns. Yeah, I'm preaching. Okay. Listen, Curtis. What I mean by patterns is, what have you seen in the past? What have you seen in the past? I mean, the immediate past, the past, the semi-past. It is a great indicator of what you probably will see in the future. Okay, so if this guy can just go off and get with somebody else and basically say, wait, I'll be back. Meanwhile, I'm planting a baby in you. Now, when you think you pregnant, that means that it wasn't that long ago when you became pregnant. Okay, because we usually think we pregnant in less than a month, maybe less than 2 months. Okay, she's a second child, so it's probably less than a month. All right. If it's your first child, you may think all the way to 6 months. Who knows? But normally, if you think you're pregnant and you already have a child, it hasn't been that long ago. So he's just a little busy beaver here. And what she needs to do is to look at the pattern, because he will continue the pattern again if you decide, well, I'm just going to stay with him and I'm going to wait too. Okay. You may see this pattern repeat again. Now listen, for everyone, male, female, doesn't matter who you are. When you are ready for a serious relationship, always remember, do the work up front that I discuss in my book. Do your work up front so that you are able to see with new eyes people who are aligned with the same dreams and the same goals that you have, so that you will not waste all that precious emotion and love and care and honor on people who do not deserve it. Don't stay with someone who's causing emotional or physical trauma. Absolutely, absolutely. If you was to see a picture of this girl, Yolanda, it wouldn't matter if she was ugly. I mean, whatever that is. But she is absolutely beautiful on top of it. All of your beauty, all of your youth, all of your resources, your times, you have to offer. Leash 007, thank you so much for subscribing to the Wise Courtship Philosophy. You're putting all of this into one person who's not appreciating you for the jewel or the what do we call men? Do we call them jewels? I don't think we call them. Think of a name for the men, because it's the same thing with men. We don't want them to waste. Yeah, don't waste it on the wrong person. No one should waste it on the wrong person, because there are plenty of people who would line up to accept what you have to offer. Okay. Glad that you are offering this service. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Yolanda. Thank you. It's a lot of fun for me, and I just love pouring into people. Leash 007, I know you're trying to subscribe to the Wise Courtship Philosophy. If you miss anything, anybody, you can definitely watch the replay. It's so sad when you have children involved. It really is, because we have to, come on, people, anybody who's watching this, that's why I encourage people to share, because you never know who may be watching this. It may be the perpetrator, or it may be people who are seriously trying to have a relationship. But come on, people, let's clean up the next generation. Everyone deserves to have two parents who are totally in love and involved in their life. So when you are not ready, you definitely do not want to get into a relationship. And you most definitely don't want to be having sex and unprotected sex and having babies all over the place, because it is so important that when you plant a seed and you have a child, that it is representative of what you are and what you are about. Yes, be a good example. Absolutely, absolutely. So, my darlings, that was the letter. Curtis, thank you for subscribing back. I don't know what's going on with this internet, y'all. Here we go. StruggleNet USA. Everybody's struggling. Everybody's jumping off. Oh, Lord. But listen, if you missed anything, go ahead and watch the replay. My regular scope, I did already. I'm in the middle of a business relationship series that's going to put money in your pocket. So you got to watch this series. You got to watch it. It's already in the replay. We've done the overview. We did part 2 today. We'll do part 3 on tomorrow. I think that's all I have in way of announcements and what's going on. She better play that song to the left, by Beyonce. Absolutely. And I know that youth has a lot to do with it. And for some reason, when someone falls in love with us, which has a lot to do with self-esteem, I have a bad signal where I'm located. I'm fading in and out. I'm sorry. Curtis, you never have to apologize, because sometimes you think it's your signal Periscope, and sometimes I don't know, Periscope and the signal is not working out. I don't know. And I could be sitting in the middle of some hot Wi-Fi. I could be in the library. They got good Wi-Fi. I could be anywhere and Periscope might act up. So don't apologize, darling. You can always watch the replay. You can always give hearts. You can always share on the replay. So don't forget that. If I've added anything of value, make sure you share it with someone. You never know who's out there who's going through the same thing this young lady's going through, or they may be causing harm in their relationships, and they need to really, really wake up. Guys, thank you so much for the hearts. I'm working on my sister making that dollar holler. I hear you. I hear you. I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing the same thing. I'm working on a e-course for this group, for the love part, and then one for the business too as well. I hear that, Yolanda. Bam, bam. We all need to be bamming that, fist bumping that, because that's what we doing. That's how we do. That we definitely do. So I pray you guys are well. I pray that this has been a blessing to you, and just keep this young lady in mind and keep her in your prayers, that she will make the wise decision. And that's why I always get on here promoting wise courtship. It is a philosophy. It is a mindset. It's something that you have to commit to, subscribe to, if you will. And so, that's why I do what I do for people like this, definitely. Well, I gotta go. You can visit me on the web at www.wisecourtship.com. There it is, wisecourtship.com. And I'm on social media just about everywhere under Wise Courtship, such as YouTube, Instagram, what else, y'all? Periscope, Google Plus, Facebook. I'm just about everywhere under Wise Courtship or Tony Henderson-Mayers. You see that there? Tony Henderson-Mayers. So, I think that's it. But I do have to ask you a question, okay? Has anyone told you that they love you today? No? Sure enough? Well, let me be the first to tell you, I love you and there's nothing you can do about it. This is Tony Henderson-Mayers, the author of Wise Courtship. Remember, I help you detect a lover worth living with. Goodbye. Love you too, Yolanda.